Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here with another Master Duel video for you guys. So we have yet another one of our viewer specials, lucky number 13 today. And yeah, this is one of my favorite times of the week when we get to feature everyone else's replays and show off what you all have been playing and how your games have been going. For those of you who are unfamiliar, if this happens to be your first one, let me introduce you to the viewer special here. So the idea, like I mentioned, is that you all get to submit your replays to the channel here to be featured and just shown off. I usually like to throw like a little bit of theming onto them, but don't feel like you have to submit any particular kind of like deck or game. Just anything you've been playing with, any game that you thought went particularly well, or you did like a cool play or had a nice comeback or something. Yeah, feel free to submit it and I will take a look at it and potentially feature it here. So what you're going to want to share is your 9-digit player ID there. That will allow me to obviously see your profile. Make sure that you have the replay publicly saved, that way I'm able to view it. And then, yeah, if there's a specific game you want me to see, just go ahead and leave like the date and time of the game and or like your opponent's name. It's also helpful if you want to throw on just like a brief description, like, you know, I played this deck versus this deck would be fine. Or even if you want to go into more detail, that's fine too. As far as where to submit this information, if you go ahead and check out my description below, you will see a link to my Twitter. Go ahead and click that and it'll take you to the profile. And pinned right at the top of my profile, I have a pinned tweet where I curate all of the responses for the viewer special there. That is where I prefer to gather the information because it's a one nice location for me to be able to find everything and not have to go to like a bunch of different, you know, places. So if you don't have a Twitter or don't want to share it there though, that's totally fine. What you could also do is just comment to this video, just leave a comment with that same information, right? Like your player ID, the date and time and or your opponent's name and a brief description of the match. And I will make sure to look at comments here as well for games to feature. So yeah, so for this video, I don't have like a particular theme in mind. We're just going to take a look at some of the last games here from you guys before the ban list drop. So moving forward, definitely looking forward to seeing some post-ban list games from you all for the next viewer special and seeing how the how the meta shift is just affecting everybody. But for now, we'll go ahead and kind of give a nice sign off to the old meta, so to speak, here with this one last viewer special here. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. Alrighty, so Full Fire is going to bring us our first game of the video here. Looks like they are playing Trizue, so that is always awesome to see. We love to see this Trizue in general. I think it's going to be this game right here. Oh, it's a Duelist Cup game. Nice. So yeah, Trizue is just still, unfortunately, even though it got, well, one, further hit by Tenki going to 2, and 2 even, you know, was a rogue level deck before then, still just one of my favorite decks in general, so we definitely love to see it. Oh, nice, you're playing Adventure Trizue. I was actually curious about this since I saw that list from the, what do you call it, the top 10 decks of the Duelist Cup. There was that person who was playing Adventure Trizue. So yeah, I've been more curious to not only explore the deck myself, but also see other people play it too. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this. Looks like we're playing against Despia here. Let's see. Looks like they're going to play at least a little bit into the sea. Probably just enough to make the, I don't know. Let's see what they end up making here. Is it the Masquerade? Yeah, it's the Masquerade. Okay. Just enough to make the Masquerade. Looks like they got us a pretty solid draw of the Tenki there, as opposed, or in addition rather to everything else we had. And we've got the Imperm for the Masquerade, so that's nice. We're only going to take that initial 600 there. Oh, they have another Maxi though. That's brutal. Or not another Maxi. I guess we had the first Maxi, but so they have a Maxi as well. I don't know if it's like brutal. Like we'll definitely still have options here, but okay, looks like we're setting up the graveyard with Fractal there. We do have the Kairos as well, so. And Tenki for the Cataroost. Alright, let's see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess this is probably the way to go, just playing into the sea anyway. Are we going for... What are we going for here? Is it Appalachia? No, it's Shurg. Okay, we're just going to go link... Oh, just hard linking into Shurg. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's nice. That'll set up the Revolt for the next turn. Gets rid of the... It also gets rid of the Masquerade in a way that it doesn't recur itself, so... Or the Despia Theater, the branded as well. Oh, you know what? That actually... Because the Despia Theater, the branded, not only will allow them to fusion summon, but also... would allow them to recur their their Masquerade potentially. Although the Masquerade can also, I guess, kind of recur itself. I don't know, it's interesting, right? Like, because you could make arguments for either or, banishing the Branded or the Masquerade. I was thinking of banishing the Masquerade, but, yeah, obviously, again, the Theater does leave them open to Fusion Summon Extra, which they would have been able to do with this hand. They might still be able to do, but, okay, yeah, they have the Aliburst, so I guess it ultimately didn't super matter which one got banished. Okay, we're flipping up Revolt in response. I guess, let's see, if we banish the Aliburst... Oh, no, I don't know, because they have two Alibursts. Let's see, what are we going to end up banishing here? Perhaps the Dramaturge? I don't know, actually. What is the best card? There's so many different... You can kind of make an argument for banishing almost anything here. Oh, I guess we could also just banish whatever they end up fusion summoning as well. It was probably just the plan here. Oh, the Guardian. Oh, yeah, the Guardian Chimera. That's right, this card. Yeah, because people have been talking about how this deck has been boosting the power level of Despia, which I can definitely see how it does. I just had to get fully familiar with what all it did. I didn't recognize what it did by name, but as soon as I started reading the effect, then I'm like, oh yeah, this card. So, it looks like the Guardian Chimera, we're going to end up banishing that, and I don't know. Let's see. What did they send? One from hand, or was it? No, it was one from hand, two from field. Yeah. So looks like we'll get the Shurg search here, but they do ultimately clear our board. It's a really good thing we have this Nibiru in our hand. Oh, they said the Denier as well. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if they're... Well, they could have been. This was on the 19th, right? So they would have been testing a post-banless build. I guess they were just using a more expansive Destiny Hero engine, so... Yeah, opponent is going to get to keep their DPE. They could have done that by popping one of their own cards. They actually kind of should have popped one of their own. Well, I guess it would have made the token smaller, so... No, popping Tenki was probably the right call there. And then they'll pass with the set card. Okay. That's definitely not a bad top deck at all. Yeah, so here we're probably just going to end up having to... I was going to say normal... Well, I guess if we normal summon a Tri-Brigade, though, they would have just... popped it with DPE. I don't know, yeah, I guess they would have just popped it with DPE either way. In this case, we do get the adventure token for some extra stats here, so... Oh, no, I see. Yeah, we're going to go into Almirage and then go into Kairos. And that way we still get to use our Tri-Brigade effect. Ah, okay. See, this is the thing about playing Adventure Tri-Brigade, is you got to think kind of outside the box in that regard, and I definitely knew that was going to be the case if I was going to try this deck, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to... That's actually a main reason I wanted to watch somebody else play it first. I kind of like to do that generally speaking anyway, because, I don't know, yeah, you can learn a deck by practicing in solo mode and then just going to ladder, but you're going to learn not even necessarily more, but just different things, just by watching different people play, you know, the deck, so that's why I think it's important to watch other people play, which is another reason why I think the viewer special is so important. Of course, I do go out of my way to watch games outside of just the viewer special as well, but, you know, like I said, it's important to watch other people's games to learn. And I want to watch your guys' games. I want to learn from you specifically, so that's why I like to do these specials here. So, yeah, all right, we managed to end with a very solid access code OTK there, so, yep, thank you again very much, Fullfire, for the submission. All right, let's go and take a look at the next game. Okay, for this next duel, we have yet another Duelist Cup game from Traumatized. Cool username, I like that actually. Is going to be submitting a game where they played Pranks versus Twins. I believe that is going to be... Was it this one? Hang on, sorry, I gotta... You know, it's funny, I asked you all to write down like the date and time, but then when I did my notes, I actually didn't do that. So, you guys are definitely more on it than I am. Yeah, it's this one right here. Okay, cool, good. Good. So yeah, playing Pranks versus Twins is going to be kind of a nice little send-off to Adventure Pranks in their current iteration. I guess current as of when I'm recording this anyway. This will probably... Actually, I think the banlist might go live, because I think this video is going to come out on the 31st, so I think the banlist might be live by now, but maybe not, who knows. So, going second against Live Twins... Yeah, they already have enough like disruption even when we're going first anyway. So let's see, what do we have here? We do have the Ash and the Nibiru, so definitely smart saving the Ash for the Leola there. You don't want to use Ash on anything before that because then, well, it's very easy for them to just have another live twin in hand and just summon that. Although, of course, looks like it was the case anyway, as they had the Frost in hand anyway. What can you do? It happens sometimes, so... they'll get to go for the Kiss of Keel. Again, we do still at least have the Nibiru here, in addition to the Dropsies plus Called By for plays during our next turn. Or during our first turn, rather. Our next turn. Same difference. I always say that when going second. I always want to say, like, our first turn and our next turn. I never know which one to say. Alright, let's see how much they end up setting with the Trouble Sunny here. Oh no, they have a Parallel Exceed too. Ooh. Ah, but we have the Nibiru, so that is awesome. Well, they didn't use Trouble Sunny in response. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense. I don't know, actually, huh? Well, in any case, they're going to pop our Nibiru, but it's not that big of a deal at all. Oh, they have a Desire. Is that... I mean, that shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, obviously, them having the extra resources. Oh, yikes, okay, so... Doesn't look like they are... Oh my god! Wow! They just had a whole other setup here! That is ridiculous. That is actually just ridiculous. And I was just about to say, that Desires probably isn't a big deal unless they draw like a hand trap or something, but they actually did just draw like a whole other setup, so I guess that's cool. Oh, but we have the Call By, so yeah, we can just banish their Leela from the grave. So that's actually not going to be that big of a deal at all. Neat. We could have actually, because we talked like the Imperm, I think we could have flipped our toggle to on and use it during like draw or standby. Right? I think, right? Can't you, unless this is during the main phase, I can never remember. No, yeah, so I think we could have actually negated this and potentially saved the Call By for like, yeah, this max C here, but I mean, either way, still being able to hit that is very, very good, so that way they can't disrupt our combo here. Alright, looks like we're doing pretty standard Prank Kid stuff from this point forward. Going into the Doodle Doodle Doo. And of course, we're going to have this Trouble Sunny triggering every single time, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal, whatever. Alright, yep, getting the pranks. So this is what a one, yeah, the one Prank Kid line. So yeah, getting the pranks and the Pandemonium. Then we'll pop off the Doodle Doodle Doo, use that to get back the Fansies and the Pandemonium. Pranks, discard Fansies, get a token, go to Doodle Doodle Doo, get Roxy's, go into Bow Wow Bark, and then we have our Battle Butler set up. This is going to give our opponent quite a few draws, but it's not like we can't, it's not like we can just pass here, right? So we do have to kind of do it this way. I just want to make sure again that was the main phase. Alright, yep, battling over the Kiss of Keel. Okay, so yeah, at the very least they won't be able to very easily set up another... Well, I guess they could just link the token and the Leela if they wanted to really start set up more live twin plays. Okay, let's see what they've got. Yep, looks like that is in fact exactly what they're doing, so... Here comes the Evil Twin Leela. I imagine this is probably just going to get impermed once this activates here. They do have another Parallel Exceed. Oh yeah, of course, we're definitely going to flip on Pandemonium as soon as possible. Ugh, they have another max. Yeah, we're going to finish one at that too. Oh, are we saving the Imperm for the Trouble? Or I guess saving the Imperm is not a bad call here, because we might just be able to like blow up their board and they won't have like it won't matter, I guess, whether their effect resolved or not anyway, so... It's funny, because, like, when I'm watching other people's games, I always want to, like, be more predictive, and I feel like I end up making worse play calls when I'm being predictive as opposed to just playing myself, so... I guess that goes to show, like, why both are important, both, like, practicing yourself and watching people play, but, I can't emphasize enough how important it is, because I feel like a lot of people don't do that. I mean, obviously, if you're watching this channel, then you're already doing that, so you, in a way, you don't need me to tell you that, but it's a point that's worth emphasizing, that watching other people play out, you know, their games, and because again, you'll just see stuff that you might necessarily have ever thought about, right? Ooh, favorite droplet, that's rough. Yeah, it looks like it's a good thing we did end up saving that Imperm, because we're able to shut down this Leela here. Yeah, it definitely wasn't necessary to Imperm earlier. I should not have said that it was. Ooh, what are they going for as a Link 1? Just an Almirage? Okay. Ha! They played it in the middle column. That's why. That is why I always say to set imperm in the middle column, because a lot of people, I think it's even a toggle on like console settings where the default's playing the spell and trap to the middle column, so you don't have to use like the joystick to pick a column every time. But yeah, that's why I like setting imperm in the middle column, and that's not even uncommon when it happens. Like people will play a spell in the middle column, they'll see it get negated, and they'll just like snap concede. I don't know if it's due to rage or like what, but you know, a win is a win, and we take it either way. So, oh, it was due to time limit. It wasn't even due to the negate. I just saw that. Well, either way, that is definitely a very solid win there. Thank you very much for sharing Traumatize. All right, let's go and take a look at the next game. Okay, so I think this is actually going to end up being the last video, or the last duel rather, for this viewer special here. It's going to come to us from Pocket Ace, who's submitting a game where they are playing Virtual World versus Eldritch, a 9-turn epic. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So be another nice kind of send off as well to see Virtual World one last time in its iteration with VFD as we prepare to move into the ban list and yet another Duelist Cup game. I guess this was yeah, right around that time. Wow, we opened 3 Max C. We opened 3 Max C against Eldritch. That's very unlucky. Also, you have a Royal Finish Max C. That is very pretty. I am very envious of that. Yeah, yikes. That is a yikes opening 3 Max C. But hey, you know, if we can open 3 Max C and pull off a win against Eldritch, I think that's a fairly good selling point. To the point I always like to make, which is like, even if things look really shitty, like it's usually not right to concede. It's usually better to just play it out and see if you can get the win anyway, because like, yeah, it's one thing I guess if you're like already in Diamond 1 or whatever, but you know, especially if you're laddering, you're always gonna have scenarios that are gonna be hard to play out of, right? And it's better to learn how to play out of the scenarios than to just concede every single time. So that is why I like to have that kind of philosophy there. So. Alright, the opponent in good old Eldritch fashion ends up setting 4 and then passing. Looks like we're going to, yeah, definitely pop off a Max C here. Just get use out of these while we can, even if it's just for one draw. Oh, that's gross. They have the Scarlet Sanguine as well, so. Good old casual 6-link chain link here, so. Looks like ultimately, yeah, the Eldritch is coming out as well as the Huaquero, and we don't get to draw. That's not good. Oh, and they're going to banish our Dracoback, so we won't have the bounce either. We do have the call by, so if we can get this Eldritch in the graveyard, we can kind of stop it from being a problem moving forward. But that's going to be the kind of tricky part, isn't it? Although I guess not, because we're just going to sink for 7 into yeah, Cheng Ying here, so we just battle over it anyway. Nice, and then yeah, like I said, we've got the call by, so now that this this Eldritch isn't really much of an issue anymore, I definitely want to wait until they end up using its effect and sending a spell or trap from deck to grave before we pop off that call by. But yeah, cool, alright, so yeah, see, look at this, despite opening 3 Max C, we're actually in an advantageous position at this point against this Eldritch player, so one of like many reasons I like to say it's not right to concede just because you see like a bad opening hand or something. Like, I'm not saying like never concede. Obviously, if it's looking inevitable that you're going to lose, you know, then it's fine to concede. But I think a lot of people would have seen that opening hand with 3 Max C and just snap conceded, especially as soon as the opponent set 4. But again, it's just always important to, even if you feel like it's going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to play out of the bad situation, just try it anyway, because it's always good to practice if, you know, if there comes a situation where it's like, you really feel like you can't concede. Ooh, call by on the Lulu here is actually really smart, because obviously that's going to prevent us from being able to use the effects or go into any more Eldritch plays. Yeah, again, just using this Max C while we can in response to the Scarlet Sanguine. In this regard, it might have been right to attack with the Cheng Ying first. Although that kind of, well, I don't know if we remember if we saw if they set that or not, but yeah, because then we would have had lethal here. Oh no, I guess we would have, because they had Vanity's emptiness, so never mind. But we could have potentially set up lethal there. Although I guess we would have known that until they Because we didn't know that we drew the teleport until the battle phase after they already summoned the Eldritch, right? So, never mind. Alright, let's see. We're only at 2,000. We've got a pretty stacked board still, so even though they have the vanities, well, they don't have it anymore. Even though they had like the emptiness and the skill drain, like this definitely is not looking unwinnable at all for us. The 3,500 Eldritch is going to be more than I was going to say a bit of a problem, but definitely more than a bit of a problem here, though. Especially because we can't use Cheng Ying's effect to protect itself or banish, so. Let me think here. What is the best way around? I'm trying to think of what the best way around this Eldritch would be. Because it's also the fact that it can't be destroyed by card effects either, too. Okay, looks like we're leading with the Lulu. That is a nice thing about playing against Eldritch as Virtual World, is that the skill drain doesn't really affect you that much, so you can still do a lot of plays anyway. Okay, like we set up the Chuchi here, but this still, I just want to make sure I am right about that. Yeah, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and this does destroy, yeah, not send, so. Oh, but we can pop the skill drain. Oh, that's right, I always forget Chuchi is a face-up card. I always want to say it's just a monster, but nope, it's any face-up card. So yeah, now we can just go ahead and go into good old Baron de Fleur, pick off the back row, and set up a negate for another one. Let's see, going for a 9. I'm trying to think of 9s we have that could potentially out. Just cards in general that could potentially out this this Eldritch here. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, it couldn't be destroyed by card effects there. So it would have been, ideal to pop a back road here, and then have that in addition to the negate. But whatever, it is what it is. Let me see. Let me actually look at our extra deck. I'm trying to think. There's a way we could have made Fan. We could have banished it. I think that would have been. We could have used Utopia to drop it down to 0. So looks like, or we could have bounced it. So yeah, looks like making a link, or not a link, a rank 6 would have been our best bet for removing the Eldritch there. Now they did have a significant number of back rows, so who knows if that actually would have resolved, but Smart saving the Baron negate for now. Oh god, he got impermed anyway. No, that's so sad. Oh, we could Chuchi our own Baron here. But yeah, definitely smart saving that Baron negate, by the way. I didn't point that out initially, but I do think that was a good call. Oof, yeah, that's definitely a bit of a yikes from us, from the opponent here, dropping so many scary strong monsters on us. We do at least have the ability to get the Shen Shen back. That is one of the strengths that Virtual World does have moving forward, even without VFD, is that their own boss monster, Shen Shen, is a decent disruption in of itself, and also is really good at just being, like, recursive and just, again, being able to constantly reuse it. Okay, yeah, the Chuchi, still I don't think gonna resolve as far as destroying the Eldritch there. Nope. Unfortunately not, but it is what it is. Okay, yeah, so we can go into the King Long here. Let's see, what should we get? Okay, the Lily, yeah. Oh, now, okay, so yeah, now I think we're gonna probably end up using the Utopia Beyond and or the Phoenix. Yeah, Utopia Beyond definitely being the ideal call here. It doesn't happen too often, but there are scenarios like this where you need to just drop a bunch of stuff's attack points to 0, and yeah, it looks like this is going to be one of those cases. So, what's funny is actually this game we didn't even use VFD, so in a lot of ways this was actually a good post-banless game to show, because it shows how Virtual World rather, can still make plays without the VFD there. So thank you very much for that submission, Pocket Ace. Much appreciated, as always. Alright, that's going to do it for the games. Let's go ahead and move on now to the outro. Okay, everybody, I want to thank you all for watching to the very end of the video like this. It means a lot to me, and also want to thank you all for submitting your games. That means a whole lot to me. This viewer special series in general giving you all the opportunity to share your game, to share your voice in another way, is super important to me, because I've long considered this not just my channel, but our channel, right? And I always talk about community-based learning and how we can learn from each other just from what you guys post in the comments, not just like me learning about what I could have done differently in that game, but that also then informs everybody else as well, and then just lets us all learn together. Like, I don't like seeing myself as like an instructor role. I definitely like to count myself among everyone else here who's just learning to play the game better. So very, very cool to see that. And very, very cool to see the submissions from you all. Again, this series could not be a thing without you all. So thank you very, very much. Yeah, that's all about all I've got rather for this one. So without further ado, this is XLex. I'm signing out. Hope you guys have a fantastic day.